When working with small numbers for our assumption tests, we will encounter both false positives and false negatives. So let's dive into these two different types of errors. A false negative is when we run a test and it fails, but the failure was due to an anomaly in the test, not the actual behavior of our customers. A false positive, on the other hand, is we run a test and it passes, but the successful test was due to an anomaly in our test, not due to the actual behavior of our customers. In other words, a false negative tells us our assumption is faulty when it might not be, and a false positive tells us our assumption is safe when it might not be. If we were making product decisions off a single assumption test, false positives and false negatives would be a major problem. Thankfully, we aren't doing that. We're running many assumption tests across several ideas, looking for good compare and contrast data. When we test similar assumptions across different ideas, we're able to triangulate across several tests. This doesn't completely remove the risk of false positives and false negatives, but it does dramatically reduce it. So remember, don't make decisions based on a single assumption test. There's too much risk in that. Run tests in parallel. Make decisions based on sets of assumption tests.